Man of Maranatha, Detroit, Michigan, where everything depends upon a proper understanding of Genesis 3:15, where the Most High God said to the serpent, I will put enmity between you and the woman. Her seed's heel will bruise your seed's skull. This goes out to Sister Cassandra. I really want to thank you for your kind words of inspiration. I too often wonder why the viewership isn't up or even the comments are up, for people to attack, not so much to agree. Just the other day, I was talking to a fellow YouTuber and I asked her the same question, and somewhat of the conclusion of the matter is that, it's not about me because, it was brought up that maybe it's my ego, that I don't have 50,000 viewers or subscribers and, 20,000 likes and whatnot. I guess I should be a little bit happy where I'm at because even when you look at Yeshua being the light of the world and, as people couldn't follow him or comprehend him or even when they were faced with the notion to accept him and accept his message as being truthful or credible, that, they walked away. Wide is the road, but narrow is the gate. You know, uh, just because you have a lot of views or a lot of subscribers does not validate your message. You know, and my friend was saying that just as the scriptures say, one sows and one reaps. One waters. We're all part of this body, this vocation of trying to bring a good harvest to the Most High. And I am just very thankful that you have taken the time to listen and to consider some of the things that I've said. Now, really understand that because me and you agree on something, or just because I am saying something that resonates in your spirit, it doesn't mean it's true. So I'm trying to point you and other people to Christ, as well as expressing my thoughts, so much that if any of you feel that I am saying something that is in error, it is incumbent upon you to express yourself to me, to point out my error. That's what I'm doing. I'm not so much trying to teach or trying to inform. I am trying to say, hey, y'all, if we're all in this together, and then we should, really take note of our ancestors and learn from their mistakes. I mean, are we all reasoning on the scriptures? Are we all on one accord? Are we speaking in tongues? Speaking in tongues isn't just abalala, or me being able to speak and understand, a different language, Spanish or Portuguese or something of that nature. It's also spiritual things. I mean, bringing spiritual things down to a level of understanding for the common person to understand, such as masculine, feminine, mother, and father. A couple of years ago, it was in the late summer 2019. Yeah, I woke up at it was about 3 o'clock in the morning, and the sun was out. The sun was out. Now, I stepped outside. I had visually seen it. It was as bright as it was at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, who could I call at 3 in the morning and, tell them that the sun was out? Who could I wake up? Because, a lot of people already felt that, I'm already, touched. And it's just like Hosea says that an inspired man of God is already looked upon as being demented or crazy. So now I'm waking up people at 3 o'clock in the morning to show them that the sun is up. How crazy is that? But when you are able to see things, when you are able to experience things, just count it as a blessing from the Most High God. And I guess that's what I'm trying to bring forth with this Genesis 3:15. If whatever I am bringing out, I'm asking you to not listen to it for, enjoyment, like, oh, that's clever. I like how you put that together. But test it. Take what I am presenting and challenge your paradigm, challenge your understanding of the scriptures, and see if it really fits. It's like a puzzle. This Bible is like a puzzle, and we're trying to put all the pieces together. If there's anything that I'm presenting that doesn't sound right, that doesn't really fit, perfectly like a glove, I'm sorry to say it, if it doesn't fit, you must have quit. I need to find all of the loopholes and all of the rough edges of this so that I can make sure that I am, correct as well as I can be. I need to be correct. I need to be accurate. I'm trying to be like Apollos, a mighty man in the scriptures, only knowing the doctrine of Genesis 3:15. But when Priscilla and Aquila came to him, the masculine and feminine, when they came to him and brought to him a higher understanding of the scriptures, then that is what I want. I want to be more accurate. That's in Acts 18. Apollos was accurate, but after meeting Priscilla and Aquila, he became more accurate. I might be accurate now, but I wish to be more accurate. So, I ask you and RT and brother White, King of LA, and I think there's another brother, Whitehead. I mean, you guys are my wheel, two masculine, two feminine, like Ezekiel's wheel, the four faces. And I'm asking that, whatever it is that you don't understand, or, you don't believe, or, you agree with, or if, you might see something that validates, what I'm saying, kind of bring it forth, because, me and RT, we talk a lot, and, she brings out, things, and, it's like, before it wasn't, I was correct on Golgotha and Goliath, but it's like, just recently she was saying, I get it. You're right. You're right. But it's not so much about me being right. It's about, what do you see? And don't just take what I see to, connect the dots in your theology. Add this ingredient to your meal and tell me how it tastes. I mean, you bring forth a higher level of understanding. I'm just saying, if you add this ingredient of Genesis 3:15 to your paradigm, to your dogma, your doctrine, it ought to change it and make it more flavorful, because of all of the things that you have studied. And you're saying, you can have that aha moment and say, yes, now it makes sense. It's like the guy who, I think it's in Mark, spit was put upon his eyes. And then when he opened his eyes, he said, I see men as tall as trees walking, you know. Was that the giants? Was it the Nephilim? What was it? See, maybe you have a question that you've kind of wrestled with or never quite understood, but maybe now having Genesis 3:15 in your playbook, you can bring something forth that's even greater. Because out of your bellies, greater is He that is in you. It's your time to shine. We're all children of the light, as well as we are following the Ten Commandments and the testimony of Yeshua. So, a lot of people are trying to bring forth dates, and I have no problem with dates. Or it's not that they're trying to bring forth dates. A lot of people are aware that, the time is near. Yeah, we know that the season is near. But, how is it that we ought to prepare? And, I just present an idea that, get a couple of gallons of water if you can and put it in your car. Or whatever, if you don't have a car, just get some things together. Keep some things in your purse, keep some things on your person, so that if and when it's time to leave and you can't go back and, go back into the house to get something, you're ready to go. Keep the gas tank full, before sundown Friday. Just be prepared and, be ready to go. I think you will get a warning before everyone else does. But when it's time to go, you got to leave. Just, I guess, this other thing that's kind of been on my mind, I don't know if it's meant for you or not, but if, I put it like this, if there's a question you would like to ask, or if there's a book you need, because, I'm trying to sell a lot of my things. I'm not in the aspect of trying to profit or make money off of anyone. There are a couple of people who have asked me, how could they help in donating? I don't take donations. Do I need $10? Yeah. Do I need 20? Yeah. Do I need 1,000? Yeah. But what I really ask of everyone is that they repent. If I brought anything to your mind for you to say, I never looked at it that way, could I be wrong? And you really let it, sizzle in your spirit, like, yeah, if there is a father, there is a mother, just repent. And just ask the Most High, or ask Mama, I never knew it, but now I know it. I'm going to implement it in my spiritual life, and please forgive me. All I ask is that you tell our parents, and you tell our parents that the man of Maranatha, Detroit, Michigan, brought this to your attention. And if you can intercede for me and pray for me, because when one soul repents, all of the host of angels, they rejoice. And I would rather have that in my bank account than, this mammon. But, I do have some books that I am considering, letting go. And, if you feel that my testimony is credible, pass it on to someone. let them listen, or try to convince, or try to, persuade, because faith comes by hearing, and hearing the word of God. And so let us reason and ask people about, Goliath and Genesis 3:15, and why it is important to you and why it should be important to them, because once they understand it, it will dispel religion, as I feel, completely. Even when I study with the rabbis, I recognize that they teach that the Bible is just metaphoric, purely metaphoric, except that Moses was historical, but Genesis and Adam, and that's more of a metaphor. But when it gets to Moses, he was a historical person. They don't too much deal with Abraham, but they get into some of the prophets. Yeah, they were historical people. David, he was a historical person too. But I asked the rabbi, I said, well, if David was a historical person, was Goliath a historical person? He's like, yes. So if David cut off Goliath's head and he took it to Jerusalem and he buried it, should his head be there? Yes. Then why should you not consider that Genesis 3:15 is the fulfillment, or David was trying to fulfill Genesis 3:15? You can't say that the book is purely mythical or everything is a metaphor. Everything represents something. But on one hand, you got some historical people over here. I mean, they were claiming that they were the historical Jews or descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But if you understand that David cut off Goliath's head, then he fulfilled Genesis 3:15. And if David was a man, then he had a color. He had a particular flesh. And so was Goliath. He had a particular flesh and a particular color. And therefore the Messiah who fulfilled Genesis 3:15, he had a particular flesh and he had a particular color. And the only reason that I say this is because once you are able to ask this, and I'm trying to dispel all religions, including Judaism, everything, when you ask yourself these type of questions, just align it with the 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not lie. Thou shalt not bear a false witness. Well, if David was real and he killed Goliath and the Messiah's foot was over Goliath's skull, then he was the Messiah. He was the fulfillment of Genesis 3:15. They don't look at the New Testament, but they understand the Torah, the first 5 books. And if the first prophecy is in Genesis 3:15, then if David fulfilled Genesis 3:15, then it is a historical book and is dealing with a historical people. And the Messiah that they reject, I mean, there's really no reason for them to reject them, because Gagal, it all revolves around that event. I know I got off point there. I just go where the Spirit tells me. So, if you need anything, I'm trying to consider selling some of these books, or, if you want a book, or if you, would like to have a book, as to say where I can get some more, information, as you're studying to show yourself approved, please ask. Otherwise, I just ask that you, continue to view, continue to critique, and, try to share this information with many people as you can. Blah. And how can I say this? All right, so Solomon's temple, it had 2 pillars, Boaz and Jachin. I think it's spelled Jachin. That's the American version. These two pillars held up the entrance way to the temple. 9/11 is when Jesus was born. Jesus, Yeshua. I still trying to clean up my mess. Yeshua was conceived on December 25th. He was conceived December 25th. Mary and Joseph got together on December 25th. He was the festival of lights. He was the light of the world. December 25th, as we would understand it. And 9 months later, he tabernacled with us. He was born 9/11. Now, occultically, in a hidden aspect, if that is true, Boaz and Jachin, the two towers, the two pillars, and the third pillar, because it's mama, it's father, mother, and son. The gold tower, the gold building. Try to put it together. Yeshua was born September. The Spirit tabernacled in September. Emmanuel manifested September the 11th. There are two bloodlines that are going on here, and some people know exactly what's going on. And they're hiding it from the chosen people. Put on the full armor of God and withstand this beast that is upon us now. This beast that is listening, this beast that is fully aware of all the things that we're talking about. I mean, it's AI. It is actually listening to us, and it is actually learning what, by what we're saying. These media sites and forums are only devices for it to learn about us. So when this moment in the sky, when this energy is going to come out onto a particular person, and this particular person is going to be connected to this AI. And woe to the inhabitants on the earth. So if you make it up, and I don't know about the rapture, but if you are caught up and you're under the altar, because to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. If you're caught up, then you're under the altar. I ask that you pray for me. Because see, the prayers of a righteous person availeth much. But I know that me and you have issues of sin within us today. We sin 7 times 70 in a day. But yet, if Jesus is our only mediator, and I ask you to pray for me, and yet I know that you sin 70 times 70 in a day, why should I be asking you to pray for me when Jesus is my only mediator? See, now you're my mediator, and I'm asking you to mediate for me. I mean, it does say that we should pray for one another, but this is somewhat of an overstanding that I'm trying to implement, is that we all are intercessors for each other, and we all are mediators for each other. And the prayers of a righteous man availeth much. And those who have, how I feel about it, those who have passed on, they are still alive. You remember the people who were in Abraham's bosom? And it said that, let me go up so I can tell the people how bad of a place this is. Now, some say it was a parable, some say it was a vision. Okay. But even in Revelation, there are people that are under the altar, and they were asking, Lord, when will you, go down and, take vengeance upon us, for what has been done to us. And then there were angels, met people who were taking bowls of incense before the throne. And those were the prayers of the saints, the people who were still here on earth. So, if you are worthy, I don't know, what spectrum or what side of the scales this is really about. But if you make it up there and I'm still down here, pray for me. And, vice versa. I don't know if being up there is better than being down here. As above, so below, as on earth, as in heaven. There is no separation. But if you are to make that transition, that you are standing before the Lord because you presented yourself as a perfect vessel, and He was pleased with you, so that you didn't have to go through certain things, and I didn't make it, pray for me. Pray for me. Because if you're in heaven, if you're standing before God, there is no sin within you. And when there's no sin within you, then you are truly righteous. And by you being truly righteous, then your prayers really have some dunamis, some power, some spark to it. See, when Isaiah stood before the throne, his lips were too impure to speak, but when they were cleansed by that coal, then he was able to speak. He was pure. I'm trying to be pure down here. And, I'm doing a decent life, but, in order to make it into the kingdom, we have to be pure. I'm not just hoping that the blood of Christ, washes away my sins and make them as white as snow. I am trying to work out my salvation with fear and trembling. I'm asking you to help me too. And I hope I can help you. So if there's any other questions or comments, make them known. You can write to me at manamaranatha@gmail.com. And shalom, have a peaceful, pleasant, prosperous, spiritually prosperous Sabbath.